Fake.
Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you're consuming this podcast. Spaghetti on the Wall back with another one. Mason Church in the house. Or are you in your house?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in the house is proper.
In the house. We are in the house.
So we got a chance to meet at the Flow Mastermind in Cabo. And one of these guys that you just meet and we just hit it off, same page, made sense, both sales guys, and had the conversation. I was like, man, we got to get you on the show. Because I want to talk about closing. I want to talk about sales. I want to talk about psychology, and all of that. And so we talked about this $175,000 Cabo close that you made happen in 10 minutes. It was a 10-minute pitch.
It was a 10-minute pitch, correct? Yeah, the short one. But the next 48 hours was just like going out, and it was a live event, right? So exactly 10 minutes of pitching, but then next 24 hours or so is just getting after it.
So give me a 2-minute, just quick backstory on how you got to where you got.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. So I never expected to be a sales guy. That was literally the last thing I would have ever imagined, right? I think we all have, when we're younger, maybe a negative connotation around sales based off of like the used car salesman or the pushy sales guy. I was actually a medical device engineer. And I was going down the path of designing implants for spine surgeries and like totally techie, totally nerdy dude. And back in like 2019, the biggest irony happened, which was I started developing nerve pain and issues in my body, which was exactly the product I was designing to help people with. And it was so bad that it knocked me out of engineering and I had to totally reinvent my life. And because of that process, I found personal development, invested over like 120K in different coaching programs, sales training programs, ended up becoming a high ticket closer for Jeremy Miner, who's like one of the fastest growing sales training companies in the US. And just one thing after another, I never expected to be on this path. And that ended up getting me to a point where I met you at Flow, and now I'm running my own live events, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I did watch your 120K debt video.
Yeah,
that I thought was really cool. And we talk about that for a second, on the importance of getting mentorship and learning and going all in on those things. Because Steve Harvey talked about it, right? Where he was like, every successful person that you know made the jump, right? Whether it was financial, whether it was a scary jump where they had to move somewhere, but they had major skin in the game and they went all in, right? And when you go all in and you risk something for the end result being an investment or your personal development, then the universe knows that, hey, you are going all in, right? Like, great. 100%. Then here you go.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There was one of my first mentors when I made the first leap implanted a belief in my mind, which was that the universe conforms to commitment. And I do believe that to be true, that when we are actually committed, not halfway in, foot in the water committed, but just choosing to make that leap of faith, that forces conspire to come to support us in ways that we can't expect. The people, the connections, the opportunities, it shows up. And I've seen that time after time. And it's this fun game that we get to play of faith. So I love it.
It's almost, it's almost instant. Like it is almost instant. I'll give you a quick story. When I first started working with a mentor, where he was like, Armando, you're going to give me $2,500 a month and I'm going to help you grow. And I was like, all right, man, I don't know about that. Could not afford it, put it on credit, and like was making, I think, $2,000 a month at the time. Like within 30 days, rose to 30K a month in monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like a switch that went off. And I'm not saying that this is going to be everybody's.
No.
Right. Like that's not, I don't know what your experience is going to be. However, my experience was, as soon as I came out of pocket and I went all in, like 30K in monthly recurring revenue was my next month.
Yeah.
Insane how quickly that happened.
Yeah. Well, it's like an identity shift, right? You're making the decision of the 30K per month guy and you become the 30K per month guy. It's the same thing with fitness or health. If I want to be ripped, I need to start making the decisions of that guy now, not after I get ripped.
Hallelujah.
And most people are waiting until after. They're waiting for the change, and then they'll make the decision. It's the decision, then the change. It's not the other way around.
Heck
right?
yeah.
So you nailed it.
So talk to me about this. Sale that happened for you in Cabo.
It was a fun time, man. I was out there with Andrew Cruzy. He runs a brand called 7-Figure CEO, transitioning over to Peace and Profit. So he's got a really cool coaching program, and he brought me in to help sell for him and help sell on stage, mainly to sell for him as a sales rep during this last year. But I didn't expect to sell on stage that day. We had done like events together, but right before the pitch, something happened where he was just, there's no way he was going to go out there on stage. It was 10 minutes before, and he's like, dude, I need you to go do it. And I'd never done one-to-many sales. I've never done any webinar sales live. I've run some small workshops here and there. I've only done one-to-one sales. And I was like, I had no time to think. And I actually think that was like the perfect formula because I had no time to think. I just had to move. And I had a one-page Google Doc, which was an offer that he had written like that morning. It was like a 25K package. And of course, he wrote it like 1 hour before. And then 10 minutes before, he's like, all right, you're going. And what I found was when you have prep and you have the opportunity, isn't there a phrase about that? Like luck is opportunity meeting, like preparation meets opportunity is luck. It was luck in that sense where they crossed and they aligned, because I all 5,000 sales calls I've taken over the last 4 years were compressed into that 10 minutes. So it looked like it was easy. It looked like it was effortless, and it all worked out well. However, that came from all of that experience, having the opportunity to actually go out. And for me, the money wasn't so much the exciting part. It's getting to see the fulfillment of like making the impact and actually knowing, wait, my skills are multiplying, they're amplifying. And it was so grounded. It was so simple. And the conversations after were just effortless and natural. And to me, that taught me that that's another leap of faith, right? It's just another example of stepping into that next level and trusting that you're going to figure it out. So
yeah, man. Let's talk about packages, offers, and when you have service-based businesses that have a lot of different offers, right? Yeah. How are you coaching somebody on, all right, what is the one offer, or do you bundle it all together? How are you advising these business owners that have a lot of offers to focus or to bundle or package it up? How are you advising them on that?
Sure. I mean, I guess it depends on what their biggest challenge is right now. Is there actually any issue or problem with them having multiple offers? Can they deliver on it? Can they fulfill on it? Or is it causing chaos in terms of actually the back end and then being able to operate as a business? Depending on what I'm seeing there, that would influence what I would advise. A lot of the most successful high ticket companies I've worked with have had 2 or 3 core offers and the ability to bundle. Usually there's been one major lead-in offer, and then the other 2 are things that we can just bolt on or just make a trifecta package. Beyond that, if I have 3, 4, 5, 6 offers, for me, selling in high volume at least, meaning we're selling 50 to 150 closes a month, that would be hectic on the back end to actually deliver for 100%. Right. So I guess it kind of depends. Do you have an example maybe you'd want to look at together, or what were you thinking about?
So you got digital marketers, right, that have and we work with a lot of digital marketers that, SEO companies. We're strictly content, right? So we can do social media, podcasting, video business cards, landing page videos, like whatever, right? Like, I mean, shit, I'll just talk about myself, right? Like, and we can just talk about my business. What we've been doing and our sort of trifecta on what we've been able to go, if you do this, you'll get results, right? And it's been the podcast, right? So establishing a podcast as a lead magnet, and we spoke about that a little bit in Cabo, right? Yeah. That you can build the authority, build the trust, build the credibility, build a content bank, right? So that's one part of the triangle. Then you have the organic social media content, right? So this is the stuff that you're putting out on all social media platforms. This is the Q&A, the YouTube videos, the LinkedIn, the trending reels, all of that, right? And we batch create that every month for our clients. And then we have our client journey videos, meaning, okay, when people come in, how are you taking them from A to Z?
Yeah.
And do you have videos at every piece of the milestone that lets them know where they are in the process, right? So that's our trifecta.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've been selling as a package for, I guess, the last 4 years, right? Meaning, you're going to get a podcast no matter what.
Totally.
Whether we handle your social media on the distribution end or not, that's something that come and go, right? Because some people have a marketing company, so we can just create the content, give it to their marketing firm, and then they can put it out. Which is preference for us. So I guess my question would be, when you're putting all of that stuff together, and you're doing, all right, this is what you need to be successful.
The triangle.
Right, the triangle. But some of these people just have never done content before in their life, have a bunch of head trash when it comes to being on camera. They're super successful in their space, right? Like they're respected in their field. They have a good reputation. They're non-existent online, right? Which is why we work with a lot of attorneys. So when we're putting together these packages, it's almost to the point where we're like, man, in the discovery call, we got to figure out where they are, right? Because like
their mindset.
What's that?
Like their mindset, or how do you mean?
Yeah, their mindset, right? Because like I can't try and tell Mason, who has never done content in his life, right? Not you, right? Because I know you do content, but we'll say Tyler, the PI attorney, right? Tyler, the PI attorney, is an amazing PI attorney. Never did content, has a billboard up that he took a picture of, probably took 3 hours to get that picture, right? And so we're talking to him. I can't go and be like, well, we're going to get your landing page video done. We're going to get your podcast done. We're going to get organic social media content. We're going to come out once a month and batch create your content. Then we're going to do your client journey videos, right? Like his head already exploded, right?
It's spaghetti on the wall.
yeah, for sure. So what we found is, in the sales process, in the discovery call, figuring out where he is,
are they open? Are they even open to the idea, and getting them more open to the idea, right? Do you see a level of resistance with them to even be willing to do all that? It's like they're willing to pay, but maybe not willing to actually do all the filming, the content, the work necessary on their end, because it's a two-way street.
Well, and that's the thing, right? That's why we exist. A lot of these fast-moving CEOs want to do content. They do not want to do the pre-production. They don't want to have to write it. They don't want to have to shoot it. They don't want to have to edit it. They don't want to have to invite people to their podcast. They don't want to, distribute the content, right? So we're like the easy button. So
nice.
Great. You hire us, boom, we're going to get that done for you. So the question would be, because we have all of those different offers, from like a video business card to like day in the life videos to client journey videos to podcasting, are you advising someone like me to package everything together? Are you advising, and people hire us for like a year, right? And once they're on with us, they stay with us. And it's one of those things that, like, once they are in, they kind of understand the concept. If they've never done content before. Right.
I guess it depends what gets them to retain and meets them where they're at, right? If it's just one piece of the puzzle and recurring revenue every month to get trust built up, and then continually adding on the other services and just upselling them, great. Typically for those situations, I would probably pitch everything at once and go for it, and then have something where, hey, no worries, we can start here and downsell. But I'd rather have the opportunity to go for the whole thing and then pull pieces off and then add them back later. I may as well go for it at first. That's usually how I've looked at it.
So you're doing so you would do a checklist of everything that we can do for you, like the $240,000, big shebang, where we're going to create your podcast. We're going to have all of your landing page videos done.
It depends on the person and what they need. It's hard for me to give the exact situation without knowing the calls, right? I am always going to pitch the maximum allowable amount that makes sense. Like, I'm always going to push it a little past my comfort zone so that I have room to negotiate and I have room to work down.
Right.
That's always been my thought process on calls, is like, push it a little past what feels comfortable, for sure. Of like, okay, this one I'm risking it a little bit, knowing that I can retreat a tiny bit with negotiations, downsells, and just getting them sold on something. Like, but it's always been harder to go from like a low ticket and be like, well, let me add this on the sales call. We can add it later, but I can't get it there. It's
Valid.
like
Yeah, no, I love starting out high. And
the
are
anchor.
you going through and just going, hey, these are all of the things that we offer based on that person, right? Like if they're ready for it and they're ready to hear it, be
I
like,
would present it as this is like the normal package. You know, I wouldn't be like, these are all separate things. I would present it as if it is a single thing. This is the steps that are within it. These are the pieces that are within this offer.
right.
I wouldn't say you're getting 3 offers. I'd say this is the one thing you're getting. This is what's in it. These are the phases. These are deliverables. These are the main outcomes. And then I'm going to see how they feel about it. Okay, based on what we covered, do you feel like this would really be a good fit for you? They say yes. I say why. And they start selling themselves on it. And at that point, then we can transition to logistics and pricing and see where it goes from there and what friction we're up against.
Right on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about sales training, because I know you train salespeople too, right?
Yeah, so I'm doing a couple of things. I do train salespeople. Usually, the way that's happening is through the vehicle of fractional management. So I've got a couple companies right now that specifically within the coaching space, I'm helping them run their sales teams, right? And that's helping them with their DM setting process, phone setting process, and closing processes. In terms of training, there's skills and there's mindset. I think a big piece of what I focus on with people first is before getting to the skills is like the mindset and understanding who this person is. Because what I've found over the years is when I give people scripts, when I give people word tracks, there's one mindset that seems to always screw people up. And you know what it is? It's avoidance of conflict. And the reason I learned that is because it was something that I used to have as a kid. It was something that I learned as a kid, and it was something that I used to adapt back then. But when I got into sales, it destroyed me. Because those people who are conflict averse absolutely get wrecked in the sales world and in the business world as well, right? So there's usually when I work with people, I look at their mindset, how they operate first, and then we move into the skills of the scripting, the tone, the pace, the cadence, the call control, the framing, all of that we move into second. But first, I got to just get to know people as a person and really see if they can actually challenge people. Because if they can't, even if I give them the tools to challenge people and to be an effective rep, they won't be able to use them. Does that kind of make sense at all? Or what are your thoughts?
That makes sense for sure. I think you're right. I mean, head trash and getting over the mindset of being able to close somebody is the key. And I've always said, man, if you can woo a woman, you can close deals. If you can't woo a woman, I don't think you can close.
Yeah. It's like flirting. I mean, literally DMs is kind of like when I do DM sales, when I'm setting appointments, it's just like flirting with women and setting a date. Setting a date is setting an appointment. They're the same thing. Like literally got to pique curiosity, increase passion, get some like fun playfulness in there, a little bit of banter, and make it worth showing up to the next thing.
Yep.
Like plant the idea, future pace, the vision of what are we going to get in this next step. So it's exciting. And that's exactly what I do all day in DMs.
Yeah. Are you and is that y'all's main lead generator like DMs or?
And for the business that Andrew's run, he's sold over 3 million personally out of his profile using DMs, like warm DMs. So people see his organic content and they go to DMs. And then when I was setting out of his profile this year, I closed like 500K out of DM sets for him. So just like warm leads who are interested on his organic, text back and forth, book the appointment, and then close them on a sales call. That was like main source for sure. Yeah. Organic to DMs. And then especially if you have like a community, like a school group or a Facebook group or any sort of community that's engaged, that's a free group that you want to upsell, the DMs are just fire. So good.
Yeah, man. Talk to me about what that content looks like.
Content in terms of how the conversation goes, or the content
in terms of what they're putting on social media to increase the credibility so that when you do DM somebody, it's a lot easier to convert.
Yeah. A lot of these people that we work with are coaches, and usually coaching is about a transformation from point A to point B. And so the easiest way to get that is through your own story, right? Like stories sell, facts just bore people to death. So typically the highest performing content we see is story-based content, right? Like, for example, if you go on Facebook and you pin a post of your origin story, it'll get like 300 likes pretty much right away. And that'll drive traffic of everyone who's organic in your audience to be open to conversations. That's been a huge piece of it. However, we're still testing new things because the market's completely adapting right now and has changed a lot in the last few years. I think like everybody, we're testing quite a bit of different stuff at the moment.
What are you guys testing currently?
I'm testing TikTok currently as far as like shorts and reels, and then I'm having that post to my YouTube channel right now for shorts to drive traffic. And then I'm also, those are the main sources I'm testing, and I'm doing it like raw, like not like highly edited. I have some that come from long form and then get turned into more like edited content that my guy Joey, he's epic, he does that. But a lot of it I'm just doing like raw, quick shots, thoughts that are just authentic. I want to test that because I think with AI, some of it's going to be so perfect that people are going to want stuff that's like raw and just real. And that's my hope and intention, is to see how that actually pans out.
Valid. Mason, how do people reach you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Easiest place would be facebook.com/mason.church. That's an easy one. And then you can follow me on YouTube, which would be Money Magnet Mason. So we can drop the link wherever that would go as well.
Yeah. And people can work with you, coaching,
sales coaching. Yeah. Helping them, you know, if you're a coach or consultant and you want to increase your close rate, and that might not even mean just being better at sales, just auditing your sales process in general, getting your setters dialed in, making sure they don't set you terrible leads. I can help with all of that. And also sales team. Like, I don't have a ton of availability right now to take on like actual sales team training, but one-to-one, I could definitely help people in that capacity.
I love it, man. Dude,
yeah.
I like to keep these short and sweet because like keeps people coming back for more.
Yeah, we got to, just like we said, we got to pique curiosity with the open loop.
100%. And let's do this again. I'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
I have another podcast called Partnership for Profit. So let's get you on that one too, and some of the other ones that we produce.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll send over some epic ideas and we'll rock it. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate you being on this episode of Spaghetti on the Wall, brought to you by Leduc Entertainment. For all of your production needs, podcasts, client journey videos, we got you. Keep listening, keep watching, and we'll see y'all next time.